What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Uncle Joey's Joint is brought to you by Boll Branch. There's nothing more important than a good night's sleep. Boll Branch knows it takes more than a good mattress. You gotta have nice sheets. Boll Branch sheets are ultra soft. Plus, they're 100% organic and sustainably produced. Let me explain something to you. These sheets are tremendous. They're cool at night, no matter how warm it is out, no matter how warm it is in the room. But anyway, my room's always freezing anyway. These sheets are beautiful. They're light and they're soft. They're just tremendous. You sleep like a baby. Get ready for this. The Boll Branch guarantee. Enjoy any product worry-free for 30 nights. To experience the best sheets you've ever felt, choose Boll Branch. You can try them worry-free for 30 nights with free shipping and returns. The Joint listeners get an exclusive 15% off the first set of sheets with promo code Joey at bollandbranch.com. Again, that's bollandbranch.com. BOLLBRANCH.com. Use promo code Joey. The Joint is also brought to you by Draftkings. The NFL is back, bitches, and you're getting paid like Dandy Don Meredith. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new players a hell of an offer for the first week only. You ready? Bet $1 on any game and cash $200 in free bets instantly, no matter what. You heard me right here. Your Uncle Joey's telling you, I'm handing you free fucking Geeters. DraftKings is giving all new players $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any game won this week. Not this week, when the season premieres, Labor Day week. I think it's August 11th, around there. September 11th, September 12th, around there. So we're giving you $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any week one game. Bet $1 and get $200. Put the fucking hummus down. Let's kick up the fucking onion dip and take advantage of this limited time offer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Download Sportsbook app, not the fantasy, Sportsbook app. Use promo code Joey to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any week one game. That's promo code Joey, Joey, to get your $200 in free bets instantly. It's the official sports betting partner of the NFL. I gotta tell you something. You gotta be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania only. This deal only applies to new customers. See DraftKings.com Sportsbook for details. Now, if you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you're in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you're fucking straight, oh shit, let's get down to making some fucking Geeters with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I'm going to win you some Geeters. We're going to open up with $200. The Joint is also brought to you by Onnit. Let me tell you something about Onnit. Without them, I wouldn't fucking be here. Now, they're introducing Alpha Brain Focus Shots. They come in peach and tropical flavors. Unfucking believable. And don't forget, Onnit has a new Alpha Brain Black Label. It's premium, refined formula that promotes speed and more focus for extreme productivity. Who gives you that? Uncle Joey does with Onnit. If you don't like Alpha Brain, or if you don't think Alpha Brain can help you, they have a money-back guarantee. If you don't like the product, you can still keep it and you'll get your money back. A guarantee like that is made when a product is exceptional. So do me a favor, go to Onnit.com. Look at what they have, the fine line of supplements from the Alpha Brain to Shroom Tech. They're just great. I mean, they just have great products. The Alpha Brain, I'll tell you what, I was a little sluggish for a couple of weeks. I went on this new Alpha Brain Black Label, and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm sleeping better, and I'm ready to stab a motherfucker. So do me a favor. Go to Onnit.com right now, Preston Church or Joey, and get 10% off your first order delivered to your house. I hope you order the new Alpha Brain Black Label. It's gonna fucking give you a new feeling. You're gonna feel like going in there and just smacking somebody with your dick. So go to Onnit.com right now and order Alpha Brain Black fucking Label. Supercharged formula, mental processing, focus for extreme productivity. You stay in the fucking zone with Onnit. Use promo code Joey or Church. Let's get this fucking podcast started, cocksuckers. It's Monday morning, August the 23rd. Let's do this.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's Monday, the 23rd of August. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a great fucking week last week. We did. I had a good fucking week last week. I had a couple breakthroughs, doctors, the whole fucking thing. Now, this week, I will be out of town shooting a TV show. I'm fucking excited about that. I get a little insurance next year, just in case I need new fucking glasses or new teeth or whatever the fuck it is. You got to work a certain amount of quarters to qualify for insurance. Supposedly they're not using residuals no more. It's a brain fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm just looking to work. I'm not getting rich. I'm just going to go work, see some people, say hello, and be fucking, still be out there. What the fuck am I doing here? Just sitting around. These are the worst 2 weeks of August to be here. It's going to be humid. Nobody's around. People are fucking traveling. It's back to school time. People are depressed. Fuck it. I'm going on a road trip. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to smoke some reefer. And I'm going to enjoy my time with my fucking family. You know what I'm saying? I have a great time with them. This last week, we went to see fucking Grease at the rec center. We left after 20 minutes. The sound sucked. So we got the fuck out of there, plus the mosquitoes were eating us out. Friday, we went to a fucking bonfire. Saturday, we went to 2 parties. We went to a party. I got to tell you, it was great to see this guy. I went to 2 parties. First, I had to go to Freehold, and then I had to go back up north to a different outdoor party and shit. It was raining. We had to catch whatever we could. But I saw a guy that made me fucking laugh so hard. I thought back to 84, New Year's of 84. We're in a bar. We got a couple lines in us. We got a fucking Gorilla Biscuit in us. It's me, Stinky, my man Roger, God rest his soul, and Fernie. A bunch of us hanging out, but it was our unique clique. And this kid came in, his name was John. He looked a little fucking perturbed. It wasn't New Year's Eve yet. It was like probably 10:45. The bar was a little quiet still. This was a quiet bar. We were there for a fucking reason. This kid walks in. He's all fucking flabbergasted. He goes, listen, I don't know what to say. My father just got jumped down at this taxi place on fucking 32nd Street. It was close to my mother's bar, so I knew exactly what he was talking about. He goes, we got to go down there and fucking fuck them up. Now I got a couple cocktails in me. I got a Gorilla Biscuit. I got a fucking Coke. I got a couple lines in me. I'm in no mood to go in hand-to-hand combat with anybody. That's the worst time to get yourself involved in a fucking altercation. But my friends were like, let's go. Let's go down there and fucking help them out. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So we go down there. We get in the car. The kid gets in his car. And we all go down to Union City. We fucking park the car. And the taxi cab stand, it was a cab stand, like in Goodfellas. It's a big Goodfellas week. Fucking, it was a cab stand. And it had, like, sun shield on the fucking glass. So you really couldn't see in. You could see people standing there, but you really couldn't see in. So we pull up, we get out of the car, and the guy, John, he goes, listen, this is my dad. I just need you guys for backup. Let me go in there and do the cleanup first. And if things get dangerous, you guys come in. I said, all right, no problem. You know, I'm a little fucked up. I'm not even talking probably. I'm just making noises, you know, whatever the fuck I'm doing. So the kid has a bat with him. And we're like, what the fuck's this guy gonna do? He's got a bat with him. And he walks through the door. He opens the fucking door. You know, you could actually see him walking in. He closes the door, and you could see him approaching like 3 or 4 guys that are in there. We're like, what the fuck's he doing? And all of a sudden you hear, you just hear a fucking, like you could fucking hear it, like a bang. And all of a sudden our buddy comes out of the taxi stand holding on to his head, and he's like fucking bleeding, you know, not a lot, he's just bleeding a little bit, but you could see his little fucking discombobulated. And he's like, help, help. My friend goes to him, who hit you, Mickey Mantle? Because he was fucking bleeding from the head and shit. I reminded him of this on Saturday, and he just went fucking pale. He didn't like it too much. He didn't like the memory being brought up. But hey, when I said it to him, the joke just went flat. Like, I remember when you got hit in the head with the bat and Roger asked you, who hit you, Mickey Mantle? And he's like, I don't know. It fucking happened, cocksucker. But anyway, what I want to, just to open up a little something for you guys, just to get you going, just to see what I got to deal with on the fucking weekends. I got to see these people now and retrace the fucking, nah, he's like, I don't remember. Anyway, fucking, the beauty of it is, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. You know, Dad was looking at my daughter, you know, and we're having a good time here. We really are. She's got new friends. She you know, goes to kickboxing. She does all this shit. She had a great time in camp. Friday, she told me Thursday night at the fucking Grease movie, she goes, Dad, one of the counselors there, he really likes you in one of the movies or some shit. Can you come in and say hello to him? I go, absolutely. You know, it's the last day of camp. I've been to the camp before. I just never went in there because I didn't want them to go, oh, that's her dad, you know, whatever. She's having a great summer on her own. She won a fucking another medal on Friday for some athletic award. You know, she's having all that shit on her own. I didn't want to go in there and them go, oh, that's Uncle Joey's daughter. I didn't want that. So I didn't go in there. I just wanted to see what she would do on her own merit. And she did fucking great. You know, pictures. They had a fucking carnival last week. This was a hell of a fucking camp. Big pool, couple fucking pools, field houses. They don't have to bring lunch. My wife didn't have to make lunch all summer. She was ecstatic about that. They had ice cream bars. You know, it's all about the fucking kids here. And that wasn't even the really good camp. That was like a median camp. Frog's Neck is like where they fucking smoke cigarettes and they have pee parties and shit and crumpets. It's fucking amazing. You could go from a basic camp here where it's just them playing on concrete to like camps with raps and they take them helicopter rides. I didn't want to do all that. I just wanted her swimming and doing athletics. They play every game there in the world. Every fucking day, wiffle ball, basketball. She learned how to throw a football. We were outside throwing a fucking football. It's a great little fucking camp. So I go in, and I know my daughter. I'm like, she's going to be fucking, she's so emotional. She fucking fell in love with one of the counselors or whatever. I know my daughter. I just know her. So, yes, Friday at 4, my wife goes, I'm going to pick her up. Are you coming? I go, absolutely. In fact, I went in the shower and got all duded up. That's the type of motherfucker I am. When I came out of the shower, I was yelling for my wife, and she's not answering. I'm like, she fucking left without me. And I came out, she was on the couch. We went down there. Fucking beautiful camp, trees everywhere. You know, I didn't say anything to anybody. When you walk in, you got to put your mask on. So I guess people couldn't tell, whatever. So I walked in, and I went over to where we have to get her. And sure enough, she was one of the girl counselors. The girl counselor was crying. Mercy was crying. It was fucking tremendous. Mercy's like, I don't want to go, blah, blah, blah. Then we had to get the girl's number. We're going to use her as a babysitter. But as we were walking out, the guy that runs the camp goes, Uncle Joey. And I look at him, he goes, how you doing? My name is John, I run the camp. Your daughter was great this summer. We didn't know till this week that she was your daughter. We started laughing our asses off. Great fucking people, you know? And she was a little upset. We went and got her a little slice of pizza at motherfucking Carlos. And then we went to the fucking bonfire thing. But I was looking at her, you know, and I'm like, wow. She's a way different kid than I was at that age. At 8, I already knew about fucking blowjobs and fucking people getting stabbed. I saw my stepfather shoot a guy at fucking a Santeria party. My daughter doesn't have any of that. I mean, and that's how I like it. You know, the other day some guy hit me up. You know, Joey, we're not saying that we don't like what you're doing, but, you know, you should fucking smoke during the album of the week and just so we could smoke with you. Listen, guys, listen. I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. My daughter lives in this house. I didn't get a studio because of what's going on in the world right now. In time, we'll get one. But for right now, I can't smoke in this house. This is her house, and I can't disrespect her. And if you need to watch a podcast or you need to see an album of the week on Patreon with me smoking because you feel like we're smoking together, I think it's time for you to put a white jacket on and go get some fucking help. Do you think when I look at Snoop Dogg smoking, I'm like, oh, I'm smoking with Snoop Dogg? That's a problem, guy. That's a craziness type shit. That's never gonna fucking happen. Get it together. I got 1,000 videos on fucking YouTube of me smoking. That was the past. This is the fucking present. So, and this is why I do it, because I don't want her to ever come to me and go, what's that smell? I've smelt that before in the house. This is her house. So I got to give it to her. You know what I'm saying? I live here. That's it. But it's her fucking house. I live here and I pay the bills, but it's her fucking house. So you got to understand where the fuck I'm coming from. So I'm looking at her the other day and I'm like, what is she, you know, I mean, she's great. I'm really happy that she didn't have to go through what I went through as a kid. I'm really happy. Like, I got friends that call me, hey, we want to invite you to this restaurant. Fuck you. There's no kids there, and there's alcohol. I don't want to see my daughter drinking, fucking people drinking fucking alcohol, acting like jerk-offs. That's not what I want to do, because that's what I did as a child. I was in a fucking bar looking at, and they were irritating the fuck out of me back then when I was a fucking 10, so you can't imagine what they do now. I don't want to be in a fucking bar. I haven't wanted to be in a bar since 1984, So I was looking at her, I'm like, you know what's crazy about her? She doesn't have the fear that I had. I had fear when I was a kid. I wasn't a tough, strong kid when I was her age. I had fear ever since the time I left from New York City. The other day on Instagram, I posted a picture of my mother's house. It was for sale in 2018, and I was in the neighborhood. I went to bring flowers at the cemetery. And I went by the house like I always do to check on it, and it was for sale. I took a picture of the fucking thing to send it to my wife, and then me and my wife were talking when I got back to California. She's like, do you want to buy it? I'm like, they want $365 for it, and you're going to have to sink $200,000 or $300,000 in there just to modernize it, just so the house could be in 2021. The house is still 1968, you know, if you've seen it. So we just said, no, I don't want to live there. But I thought about it afterward. Let me tell you something. From the age of 10 to the age of 16, I was never settled in that house. I don't know if you've ever lived in a house that you won't settle in. All I remember is waking up one day on, you know, fucking Riverside Drive and 89th Street overlooking the Hudson River. That's where I first remember living. And then after about 6 months, the apartment got raided one day for numbers, and my mother thought the apartment was spooked, so we moved to 205 West 88th Street. And I lived at 205 West 88th Street since I was 5 till I was 10 years old with no fucking problems at all. I loved living there. I watched fucking scary movies. They never affected me. I watched The Exorcist at 10. Never affected me. I think I slept with the lights on for a few weeks, but it never really, I could deal with all that shit. When I moved to 3515 Gibbonette Terrace, something happened to me. As soon as I walked in that fucking house, something did not feel right. I usually base my life on energies. If I don't feel right doing something, I won't do it again. And it all started with that fucking house. That house had a creepy fucking effect to it. We moved in that house in May of 73, probably 2 or 3 weeks after I beat up Sister Hyacinth at Sacred Heart School for Boys. It was probably right around that time that my mom got the house in Jersey, and that's when we decided we're not going to go to that school no more. I had chicken pox that week. The Mets were playing the fucking the Cincinnati Reds. I actually went to the Met game with the fucking chicken pox. I just put makeup over my fucking little pimples on my head, and I went to the game. I saw fucking Pete Rose beat up Bud Harrelson. I went to 2 games. It was 2 home games. But I still remember moving to that house. I didn't like it. I didn't like the kids outside. I didn't like the house. I didn't like the fucking yard. It was an above-the-ground pool I wasn't crazy about. But that wasn't I wasn't crazy about of that house. The energy inside the house was not fucking me at all. You know, at first when we moved in, you know, you have the yard. You don't have a yard living in New York. So, you know, the attraction was the yard. You know, I would go out to the yard and jump in the fucking pool. It was summertime when we moved in. It was like April, May. So shortly after the pool opened and we could swim and shit. You know, I put up a basketball court, but the ground back there was pavers. It was like 18-inch pavers. So they weren't connected. So when you dribble the ball would fucking go everywhere else because it wasn't the ground. It was pavers. But again, that's not the reason what made me. The first probably 8 weeks was great in that house. And there was 1, 2 bedrooms with a closet room and a bathroom on the second floor. And then there was a 3rd floor attic that was refinished, and it was beautiful. It was cool as fuck. They had like paintings on the wall, like a big brush went around the fucking wall, and they crisscrossed. I think the room was yellow. They had a great window, fucking strong as fuck air conditioner. The closet was a walk-in closet in the attic. And over on the side, there was like a stand for shoes. Well, I took that apart and shit. I lifted the fucking thing, I busted it all, and I discovered like a little hiding space. I used to actually go in there as a little kid, put the cover, and make believe like that war was ending. And I was downstairs in the basement drinking like Tang and shit. I swear to fucking God, when you're a single child, you have a tremendous imagination. So I would go in there, the whole thing. It was great. It was a little paradise up in my fucking attic. But shortly after I moved in there, I started hearing shit. I just started hearing shit. You know, something wasn't right about that fucking house. And I still remember being like Mercy's age. And one night, before I went to, this was after I was already I had gone to Catholic school for 3rd grade, to Sacred Heart School for Boys. And that was a boarding school where you went to all fucking week, and then you came back Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'll never forget, one of my first weekends at boarding school, I came home, you know, everything was great, went to the bar, probably went to a movie. My mom brought me home at 3 with my stepdad. We sat downstairs and bullshitted for a while. I went up to the fucking attic, and my parents went to bed, my mom went to bed, and some point in the night, I can't tell you what I felt. I felt like somebody had grabbed my leg or had pulled on my leg. It was the weirdest fucking feeling. I know, Joey, you're fucking crazy. I'll tell you what I felt. You know, I felt something, and when I turned to see what it was, I kind of was alarmed, and I made like a noise, like something like that, and I just saw something and heard something. And here's the crazy thing, that after it went down, my mother and stepfather came out of their room to ask, what just happened? We heard something really weird. I go, I don't know. I was half fucking asleep, and I felt something grab my fucking leg. And when I turned, I was startled. I made like a noise. They heard the noise, but they also heard the stairs. Like something was wrong with the stairs. Like somebody had gone down the stairs. So they're like, what the fuck was that? You know, and I'm like, I don't know. But whatever the fuck it is, I'm not staying up here no more. And they're like, you got to stay up there. That's the night that Juan gave me his gun with a silencer. And he goes, sleep with this, and if you see a ghost, just shoot it. And I'm like, okay. Like, I was like, okay. I'm like, there was no fuck. I don't know what it, guys, I don't know what it was. but there was an energy in that house that just didn't fucking feel right. And I went away to Catholic school. I came back on the weekends. You know, I would stay there. I would stay at my godmother's house. I would always stay at different places on the weekends. So I didn't have to deal with whatever was in that house anymore. Until I got thrown out of Catholic school. Then I had to deal with whatever was in that fucking house. Once I got thrown out of Catholic school, I went back. I signed up at McKinley. The Balzanos, fucking Carmine beat up Bernie Robson's father. Once I was in the neighborhood, I was very happy. But something happened right in the beginning of the 6th grade. Again, by this time, I transferred all my clothes and everything. As I was getting older, when I got back from Catholic school, I took the room next to my mother's. I felt a little safer. I said, whatever happened in the 3rd grade happened, you know, whatever. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I had 1, 2 fucking many blueberry brandies at the bar because I would sneak them when I was like 8 or 9. Who the fuck knows? You know, I'm not here to fucking say that there's a ghost or whatever, but we'll give it another try. We'll give it another fucking try. I'm a little bigger now. I can handle myself now. I'm a little stronger. You know, I just beat the fuck out of a nun. I'm ready to take over the fucking world here. So we transferred into McKinley. I think I was in McKinley, I think a month elapsed. In those days, I would play whatever the fuck I was doing from 3 to 6, 3 to 7. And then about 7, I go up to my mom's bar. I go to the New Moon Chinese restaurant on 29th and Bergen Line. I'd eat dinner, whatever the fuck, or Cuban food or a sandwich from Hernandez. And then I would walk home. I would walk down the hill and go to Gibbonette Terrace, and I'd go home. My mother would stay at the bar. My stepfather would stay at the bar. And I'd basically be alone till 3 in the fucking morning. No big deal. I was 11. I was a big boy. I could fucking handle it. I think after a month, every time I would fucking turn the lights off in my room and turn the TV off, I would hear this bullshit on the fucking stairs. People coming up. It was an old house. I mean, it wasn't that old of a house. If it was 1973 when we moved in, I think the house got built in 53, 54 or something like that, after the orphanage fire on Gibbonette Terrace. So I really don't know how old it was, but man, at night, once I'd put my fucking pillow down, I'd put my head on my pillow, it was like there was a fucking party in my house. I would hear people going up and down the stairs, shit coming from the attic. I would have to call my mother. I think one night I called the fucking cops. The cops came, and after about a week of that shit, I was like, fuck this. I'm not living here no more. So I started in the 6th grade. I moved out of my house. I don't know if you guys even heard this fucking story. In the 6th grade, I pretty basically moved out of my house, and I had 2 different places I'd stay at. I'd stay at 26th and Central at my friend Eva's house. My buddy Jose Torres, his mother, had a house on 26th and Central, 2614 Central Avenue, and I'd stay there. There was his sister lived there, Lucy. His sister Ellie lived there. Me and Lucy were tight. In the mornings, I'd wake up and go get a fucking bag of Zeppelis. I'd go get a stick of fucking Italian bread and a whole stick of Hotel Bar butter and a 32-ounce Coca-Cola, and I'd bring it back over there, and me and Lucy would eat the fucking whole bag of fucking bread, and I'd eat the Zeppelis on the way to McKinley. I had a fucking system, Jack. I was on fire up there in Union City, and I loved it. I would only go home after school to get clothes for the next day, and I would go to karate, do my whole life, go to my mom's bar, but I would end up on 26th Street, or I would stay on 22nd and Central by my cousin, Julio Rodriguez. He owns Anaconda Jiu-Jitsu in North Bergen and West New York. If you're looking for a jiu-jitsu school, I might as well give him a plug. He's a good dude. He's a great fucking teacher. He's a Higan Machado black belt, but I'd stay with him and his mom, Awilda, and his brother Guillo, fucking, so I would walk to North Bergen from 22nd Street. I did not like that fucking house at all. My mom would beg me to come back. I would still see my mom, and I'd still see my stepfather. It was still part of their life. But when it came to sleep, I just would not fucking go down there. It took me I didn't move back into 3515 till maybe middle of 7th grade, the year I got left back. So I moved out of my fucking house basically for a year and a fucking half. And then I got a girlfriend in North Bergen, and it's tough to tell your girlfriend that you're scared of sleeping in your fucking house when you're in the 7th grade because you look like a pussy. So I started living there again. Sometimes during the week I would sleep out in Chucky McBreen's house or something, you know, or one of my other friends' house, Whitey's house, or Mario Diaz's house, or Anthony Balzano's house. If things got too dangerous at night, I would fucking, you know, little by little, it was like I was, you know, just working myself back into the fucking house. But I always thought that house and that neighborhood were fucking creepy as fuck. And if I go down there now, I spoke about it a couple weeks ago on here, when you go down there now, just the neighborhood is dead. And it bothered me for years. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on there. I used to put a glass of water. I used to put earplugs in at night so I wouldn't hear the fucking haunting, as I called it. It was just a fucking haunting.
It still happened when you went back?
Oh, yeah, it was going on, but not... I think I was sleeping heavier, and I wasn't really dealing with it. I would put earplugs on, you know, so I went back the year I got left back. You know, once I started giving my mom a problem at school, like there was the teacher called her in one time, so she was like, enough with sleeping out. You got to start sleeping back in your house. What did I pay for this fucking house for? And I was petrified of that fucking house. You know, so many weird fucking things happen in that house. Like, I think the weirdest thing that I ever saw was the night the chick knocked on my door, beat up. Like, that's never happened in my life again. I've been in fucking horrible situations and horrible places. But at the age of 12, for a woman who's barely fucking had clothes on, her husband ripped her clothes off, and she had blood coming from everywhere, knocked on the door, that's just a spooky fucking thing. Like, it took me a while. Like, I'm like, this fucking neighborhood never stops. This chick just knocked on my fucking door, you know, bleeding, and as we opened the door, we had to rush her in, and her husband was running up the block with a fucking knife, and my stepdad had to get a fucking gun to wave the guy down. This is my life in fucking the 7th grade. You know, it was fucking crazy. And then my mother ended up letting some friend of hers, Tati, he was a great friend. I loved him with all my heart, you know, do some Santeria shit in there, and the house really went to shit. Then my mother and stepfather broke up. My mother hit him in the head with a fucking saint, like a statue of the Virgin Mary, just hit him in the head when he was sleeping. He got up. There was blood everywhere. I mean, the things that happened in that fucking house. Another night, I was a sophomore in high school, maybe 2 weeks before my mother died. We almost lit that house on fire one night. I mean, there was almost a fucking battle in that house. We were in the fucking house. My mother was in Florida selling her property down there. She had this property on MIA, on Miami International Airport. I don't even know what happened with that shit. But anyway, we were having, I said, my mom's gone. I'm starting to get popular. Let me have a fucking party at my fucking house. So I got like a keg, you know, we did the right thing. I had a downstairs, I had a garage, you know, I had a sub-basement, I had a garage, and I had the living room. I could have everybody up there. My living room was a little creepy because I had the 6-foot saint in the living room of St. Lazaro, and I had, you know, it was just a fucking creepy living room, but I could contain them in the garage and downstairs in the basement. These girls fucking showed up, and there's one girl in particular was a little fucking loose, you know what I'm talking about. And we're fucking sophomores, and this girl's a senior. And my one buddy, who I was telling you about a couple of weeks ago, Louie, had a thing going with that girl. She was like a senior, you know, so we were sophomores. I knew Louie since the 7th grade at McKinley. He was my boy. You know, I was telling you this story a couple of weeks ago. So Louie takes the girl upstairs to my attic, and my other friend, Steve, has got a girl in my bedroom. I don't give a fuck. I'm just, as long as they don't go in my mom's bedroom. I locked my mom's door. I'm sitting downstairs in the kitchen talking with this kid, Chris, that we used to call the Red Devil, and these other guys, Eggs, and all these other guys. And we're just having a conversation. Nobody else knew, beside Chris, that my man Louis was upstairs with the girl and my other man Steve was upstairs with a different girl. Nobody fucking knew. Me and Chris knew. We're sitting down. It's probably 12:30 at night. The party cleared out. We're just talking shit. I don't even think we're high. And all of a sudden I hear somebody coming up the garage stairs. And this is Kid Eddie with another kid and two other fucking gorillas. And the Kid Eddie, his girlfriend, was the chick upstairs with Louis. And you could start, the other guy, it was a great built house. It was a fucking solid fucking house. I used to jump off. There was 2 sets of stairs. I used to jump off the fucking stairs down to the floor. That fucking floor stayed tip-top magoo the way it was forever. I had been jumping off that fucking thing since I was 10. My mother would tell me, stop, one day you're going to go through the fucking floor. I didn't give a fuck. I would jump off there, jump off there, jump off there. So we're sitting in the kitchen. It was a dining area. There was a dining area, then there was a living room, and then there was like fucking TV and all this shit. Big downstairs. We're just sitting there talking shit, and the saint is right here. San Lazaro Saint is right here. He's 6'5". He's got crutches and shit, real crutches. So one thing leads to another, and Eddie and his buddies come up, and they're like, we're looking for this girl. And we're like, I have no idea where the fuck she's at, She was here earlier, but she left, And he goes, no. She's here, She's got to be here. And we're like, dog, we're the only ones here. You hear anybody fucking else? And the kid's like, well, then you won't mind me looking around. And I go, that's not going to happen. This is my mother's house. And that's not going to fucking happen. And the kid's like, yeah, it is going to fucking happen. And as he started walking towards me, Chris was a fucking animal. This kid was a fucking street urchin. He fucking took one of the crutches from St. Lazaro, like a fucking 5-foot crutch, and he goes, if you take another step, I'm going to break this over your fucking head. I'm like, holy shit. This is going to go down in my living room, because he had 3 gorillas with him. And he goes, if you go past this, I'm going to break this over your head. And then I got up and took the other fucking cast. And I go, looks like you're going to get hit in the head twice. And every other guy that was in that kitchen with me that night, I forget their names. I'll tell you what, we were going to take these motherfuckers down right in that thing. This was going to turn into Goodfellas when they're kicking poor fucking Bobby Bats and all that shit. This is going to turn into. This was not good. And now I start to hear the bed upstairs. The whacking, and everybody's like looking around, and we're like, like making noises and shit. And we're like, you're not going to fucking pass this, so we're going to hit you in the fucking head with the fucking crutch. The kid sat there. He's like, I don't know what the fuck. He goes, you guys are tough guys tonight. What if we came down here with more people? Then we'll make a fucking call, and we'll get more fucking people. You're not coming in my house. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying that you want to walk in my house and search it. Who the fuck are you? And now I was a little scared of this guy, Eddie, and his fucking friends. But at that point, I wasn't scared anymore. Who the fuck are you? Once you're right, you're right. Who the fuck are you to come in my fucking house? Get the fuck out of here. We just told him, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out or we'll break your fucking head. And Chris led the fucking charge. Till this day, I still love him. I don't know where he is. I see him on Facebook. My friend, he was a redheaded kid, so my friend used to call him the Red Devil. So they left, and we were like, woo, that was a fucking close one. Monday, we had to deal with shit. I think the kid said something to me at school Monday that he was keeping my eye on me, but we never even discussed it again. It moved on, but that was how crazy that fucking house was. And then, after my stepdad left the fucking house, the house just had this feeling that, even when my stepdad lived in it, have you ever listened to the end of Pink Floyd, Dogs, when he goes, you're a stranger at home, and all that shit? That's what I felt like. After 1978, right before I graduated high school, we didn't really have a home. It was just 3 people living together. As much as I loved my mom and my mom loved me, I don't want you to get me wrong. We loved each other, but we were 3 people that were living, doing our own thing. And we weren't even eating dinner. I was eating dinner at the fucking bar. So once my stepfather left and my mom let Dottie do the fucking thing there, our house really went to shit. You know, our house went to fucking shit. My mom was gambling. The house was just a bad luck house. You ever have that where you just like, this is, I don't know. The house just wasn't one of my favorites. You know, when I moved into this house, I'm like, ugh, this has the spirit that house had. No, it doesn't. Not even fucking close. That house was just dark. It was dark even when you had the lights on. Is that a good way of explaining it to you? Like when I think back to going in and out of that house, I see it in black and white. Like I see the rest of my life in color, but I see that in black and white. That's why I didn't fucking like that fucking place. And the kill, like I always knew something wasn't right. Like I always knew something wasn't right. I didn't know that house wasn't going to end the right way. Like I would love to tell you I knew, but I just knew that house was just not right. And there were two things that finally cemented that fucking house wasn't right. The night I came around the corner and found my mother on the fucking floor with bruises on her arm, and she was dead as disco. And I mean, you know, when you find somebody dead in the house, in that house, the for sale sign goes up the next day. There's no reason to stay there. There's no reason. There was a death in that house. You know, it's like the judge that got shot, her husband and kid got shot in East Brunswick last year. You know, they sold the house. You can't live in a house with death in it. You know, pick up the floor, take all the blood out of the fucking house, you know, redo it so there's no blood in the house. Not like you're wiping up the floor with blood. You're not leaving blood on the floor. You're taking up the wood. You're taking up everything, and and then redo a new fucking house. My friend, his sister-in-law killed herself in the house on Christmas Day. That fucking house was for sale New Year's Day. I mean, you just don't stay there. Once I found my mother on the floor, it was confirmed to me that I didn't have a solid fucking house. But this is where it gets even weirder for you. Are you ready for this? My mother fucking dies. We take her to the funeral parlor, you know, the whole thing. We're about to do the week of the wake and shit. We're all at the house eating dinner, whatever we're eating, like a snack after we identified the body or whatever. I don't know particular what day this came, but it did happen. We were all sitting in the living room. My mother was dead, and I was feeling fucking jaded. I was confirmed that this house where I lived at was fucking spooked. I just found my mother on the floor, and there's a knock on the fucking door. They all look at me, you gonna answer? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna fucking answer it. So I go over to the door, I answer, and it's this nice white couple. And she's like, oh, how you doing? We didn't mean to bother you. Were you guys doing something? I go, no, what's going on? And I never saw this woman before. I never saw this man before. And they just started telling me that they lived in the neighborhood, and that the people who lived, they wanted to see who moved into the house, because they knew the people who lived there previously, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, looking at her like, I'm not, you know, I don't know what this lady's talking about. And she's like, we used to live on the block, and we became friends with the people who lived here, and you'd done such a nice job with the house, the front of the house. You know, my mom fixed it when we got in. She put the bushes in and all this shit. And she go, you know, lady's like, whoever lives here did a great job with the house. We loved the windows. Oh my God. We knew the previous owner, rest his soul. And I'm like, rest his soul? What are you fucking talking about? And the lady goes, you didn't know? I go, I don't know anything. I'm just a fucking 16-year-old kid. What do I know? And she goes, well, we lived here from the 60s, and the owner here was a nice guy, and he had a nice family. But one day they found him in the garage. He fucking killed himself. And it was like fucking, like the Twilight Zone. I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew this fucking house was fucking haunted. And the lady's like, yeah, he killed himself in the garage. He didn't hang himself. He closed the garage door and left the exhaust on, and, that's how he fucking died. And I'm like, holy shit. We talked for a little while, and then she went off the porch, and all my beliefs have been confirmed. I knew there was something weird in that fucking house. I hate to say it was a haunted house, but there was something beside me in that fucking house, and it was not happy. It wasn't a happy house. Like, when I walk in here, I'm smiling and shit. That house didn't bring the happiness out of you. It brought it brought like this fucking confusion over my life. That's what it did. And ever since I moved out of that house, I've never, ever, ever experienced that again, or feel like in that way. Like, I would take showers with the door open. It got to me. The fear, the real fear, like there was something dark in that house. And that day it was, I was happy that I knew it. My mother didn't. She didn't believe me. This house can't be fucking haunted. I'm like, listen, man. And I saw something when I was a kid one time. When I was a kid, like 4, in Manhattan, we lived on, when we lived on Riverside Drive, the hallway of the kitchen, like if you look out the kitchen, it was, you could see a window over there, a window over there, and a window over there, and, whatever. One night, anyway, you're going to think I'm crazy. I was not getting high when I was 4 years old. So I don't want you to go, Joey, you were fucking high. But one night I heard like a guy in the hallway outside the kitchen. I remember looking out and seeing like a shadow and telling my mom. My mom was like, they couldn't have been. It was impossible, but I saw something. And I remember my mom looking at me weird and looking out the window and going, yeah, maybe you did fucking, I don't know for sure. I don't know how I felt back then, but I remember that I felt something sort of like I felt when I moved into 3515 Given Terrace. And then to make it all fucking come together, and I could invite you guys to look it up too, if you, I've told you to look up the Superman of Cuba, and it's a long read. In that same vein, there's an article, if you Google it, on the Given Terrace mysteries. It's called something like that. Given Terrace, Lower North Bergen. You could find it if you Google it. I'm going to try to Google it today and put it up on Twitter and Patreon, whatever for you guys. And it's an article about that area down there. That there was an orphanage on Given Terrace. She was called Mary Givenard. That was her fucking name. She had the orphanage, and there was a fire one night, and all those kids were killed. In fact, if you went up the woods on Given Terrace, you still saw the foundation of the orphanage, and the wall was black from the fucking fire. Just look up Given Orphanage fire, and it'll give you all, it is just, it's like 30, 40-minute read about that area and how haunted it fucking is. I'm telling you guys, that fucking area is haunted. I sit here, I stand here, and I tell you that I've never felt that ooky or creepy before in my life. That whole area down there, from walking past that cemetery, I'll tell you 2 stories, then we'll wrap it up. They say that there have been witnesses, and I heard that when I lived down there, that there was a lady that would walk on Union Turnpike or Liberty Avenue. They said a lot of people saw dressed like with lace and walking with a candle. Did I see her? No, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be in Guatemala fucking hiding if I saw like a lady walking. They say you see her like fucking gliding. And if you read the article, you'll go, Joey, okay, it's not you. There's like 20 eyewitnesses that have seen that lady walking around, and they say that it's Mary Givenard that's walking around. But then it takes you back to 1930 or something. This is the spookiest fucking story ever. That cemetery where my mother's buried, it's called the Weehawken Cemetery. It's been there since Jesus left Chicago. It's been there for a long fucking time. I told you, not that cemetery, but there's another cemetery that blends into Weehawken that I took a shit in the night that Freddie Prinze that died, that I never forget when I was shitting on it. The only reason why I shit on the body, you know me, I'm a fucking Catholic and I respect spirits. But that motherfucker died like in 1830. There was nothing left in that box. In fact, his tombstone was like bent over and it was rugged looking, and all the tombstones in the area were like crosses, that the fucking cross had been taken down. Like there was just a stick. It was 150 years old at the fucking time. But that cemetery has been there for such a long time. And that same Mary Giving Out article, you'll read a story about across the street from that fucking cemetery, there was a row of houses. There still is. And one night, rocks started coming out of that cemetery and breaking all the windows on that hill going down. So the neighbors came out to see what the fuck was going on, and they were getting hit with rocks and shit. So they all called the police, and the police fucking circled the cemetery. Circled it like a police fucking thing, because I think it was after 3 nights they kept throwing rocks. They circled the cemetery, and they went through that cemetery inch by inch, and they never found the fucking thing. That was the same cemetery I did jump the fence and tried to fucking unbury my mom New Year's Eve, 79, but that's a different podcast. We'll get to that some other time. But it all has it on there. So if you look up Mary Givenard Terrace Orphanage, if you Google it, you'll come upon that article and you'll read it and you'll see that the shit I'm telling you is not fucking bullshit. I felt it in my fucking soul. It was a creepy fucking feeling, and I never want to feel it again. And that's what my daughter will never fucking have, that creepy, scary feeling. I never got there anywhere else. I never got it at my mother's bar. I never got it at other people's homes. I just got it when I walked in that fucking house. When I walked on that block, it felt weird. And over the years, I've heard other things that have come out on that, Charles Court. It was just, the orphanage was on both streets. So, and there's people that lived in the last house. I have a friend that's named Grace. She lives in Tunkerton, New Jersey. Her house was on the top of Givenard Terrace. And her mother lived there and her grandmother lived there. And she told me once, after my mother died, we were talking about this same story, and she said that the people that owned her house said that for years after the fire at the orphanage, that at night they would hear kids yelling from back there. Like kids that were 8, 9, 7 yelling from the orphanage. So that shit ran through the neighborhood for fucking years, I wanted to tell you this story because I put the picture up on Instagram, my mother's house, and a lot of people wondered why I had put it up. I had put it up to tell you this story. So if you go to my Instagram, Matt Flavors World, you could see the house. It doesn't look haunted. It just looks like a regular house. But when I look at it now, it looks like a fucking house that's spooky. And the thing that scares me the most about this fucking house is that I called it. I just did not know that it was going to scare them. It's funny because the people who bought the house, there used to be a bathroom window next to the door. So if you rang the doorbell, my mom could look out the bathroom window. And if it was Jehovah's Witnesses, she would get hot water and lower the upper window and throw hot water to Jehovah's Witnesses. But they put bricks up on that window. Obviously, whoever bought the house put bricks up. They fucked up the bushes that my mother put in there. The bushes that are missing, if you go to Instagram and look, the bushes that are missing where the bushes were one used to hide his gun and his fucking knife outside. That's my podcast for today. That's Uncle Joey's Joint. I just wanted to get that story out of the way because I put up the house. I put the house up. I put a picture of my cat up. And I put a picture, 2 slices of Roma pizza. And the house got like 1,000 fucking comments, and I'm like, what the fuck? And everybody wants me to buy the house, turn it into a dispensary. Let me tell you something. I thought about buying that house, and I was like, there's no way this is happening. I thought about it for like a day. I'm like, I could live in North Bergen. I could fucking get that house. It could be modern as fuck. But I said, no, because whatever lives in the house, I guarantee it's still fucking there. And that's my podcast for the week. That's Uncle Joey's Joint. I hope you enjoyed this little Monday morning, little fucking positive story about haunted homes. And that's it. Laughing Gas is still in fucking stock. It's back in stock last week. It's selling off the fucking shelves. Get there. The big launch comes. And what Joe told me was this batch they got on Friday is better than the original fucking batch they had last month. It's going to get stronger and stronger. So if you're in the California area, stop by motherfucking ice cream shop and pick up Laughing Gas or any other one of the Zeke fucking products that tickles your fucking fancy. I got no dates. I got nothing coming up except The Sopranos on October 1st. Every day we're getting closer to the release of this movie. I'm watching the episodes with my wife, as many as we can. At night, we try to watch one a night. We're on season 3. It is what it is. I love you motherfuckers with all my heart. I'll be out of town this week taping. Stay black. And I'll be back next Monday, the 30th of motherfucking August. No, we'll be back Wednesday. What are we fucking talking about? And we got a guest for you too, cocksuckers. Stay black. And now for a word from my motherfucking sponsors. All right, I want to thank you guys for watching the show today. I hope you got entertained by my spooky fucking story. I've been dying to tell you this story for a few weeks now that I put the picture up. It'll be easy. But real quick, I want to talk to you. A word from our sponsors. The joint is brought to you by Onnit. Let me tell you something. I've been with Onnit for 10 years maybe. I love their products from the Shroom Tech Immune. But the Alpha Brain really does it for me. And now they're introducing the Focus Shots, which come in tropical flavors and peach flavor. And they're introducing the Black Label Alpha Brain. It's a supercharged formula. It'll get your fucking brain firing, the GABA fucking firing. You'll be fucking tip-top Magoo, reading books from other languages, speaking Russian backwards. That's what Alpha Brain does for you. But it all starts with you going to Onnit.com right now and looking at the fine set of supplements they have. The beef jerky, they're just great. Listen, I can sit here for 2 hours and talk to you about Onnit and all the great things they've done for me, from the Shroom Tech Immune to the Shroom Tech Sport. But right now we're talking about Alpha Brain, the Black Label, and the Focus Shot. Give them a shot. Press in code Joey or Church and get 10% off delivered right to your motherfucking crib. The joint is also brought to you by Draftkings. Listen, the NFL is back and you're getting fucking paid. Draftkings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the NFL, giving all new players a hell of an offer. For this week, bet $1 on any football game and you're going to cash $200 in free bets. I'm doing the same for you in college football. Whether it's college or pro football, you're gonna get, if you're a new player, I'm gonna either give you $100 in free credits for college football or $200 for the NFL instantly, no matter what. You heard me the fuck right. Free money. DraftKings is giving all new players $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any week 1 game. Put the fucking Hummers down. Take your fucking balls out and head to DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and check out their great promotions and daily odd boost. Plus, they got a casino that's fucking tremendous. Blackjack, poker, fucking roulette wheel. But it starts with you. Make every game a big game with same game fucking parlays. That's what else they got going on over at DraftKings. But again, it starts with you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Not fantasy, Sportsbook. Use promo code Joey to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any week 1 game. That's promo code Joey to get $200 in free bets instantly. For limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, if you got a gambling problem, you got to call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you're in Indiana, it's 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you're straight, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and win some fucking Gitas. This is the way to make some nice fucking do-re-mi this season, getting ready for the holidays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code Joey. Listen, you're not gonna believe what I got here. I got Boll Branch sheets. You're like, Joey, fucking sheets, really? These sheets are soft, smooth, and comfortable. I got my bed looking sharp with the new natural colored sheets. There's nothing more important than a good night's sleep. Boll Branch knows it takes more than just a good mattress. You gotta have nice sheets. Boll Branch sheets are ultra soft, plus they're 100% organic and sustainably produced. I love them. They're cool, they're light, they're buttery soft, and they're lightweight. Perfect for all seasons. They come in a variety of colors, every size from twin up to California king. People always ask me, Joey, you always have dick problems or gambling ads. You never have nothing for me to get my parents anymore, nothing. Here it is. Nice Boll Branch sheets. Here's something special to help you sleep. Boll Branch sheets are made by craftsmen who earn a fair living wage. These workers earn their pay and respect they deserve. All of Boll Branch products are made using safe and fair conditions. The Boll Branch guarantee: enjoy any product worry-free for 30 nights. You can't beat that. To experience the best sheets you've ever felt, choose Boll Branch. You can try them worry-free for 30 nights with free shipping and returns. The listeners to The Joint get an exclusive 15% off your first set of sheets with promo code Joey at Boll Branch. That's Boll Branch, B-O-L-L Branch, BRANCH.com. Promo code Joey. The Joint is also brought to you by Onnit. Oh, we said Onnit already, right? Who the fuck knows? Onnit.com. They got a new Alpha Brain focus shot that's gonna put fucking hair in your asshole. Go to Onnit.com right now, press in code Joey or Church, and get 10% off delivered right to your house. I wanna thank Boll Branch, I wanna thank Onnit, and I wanna thank motherfucking Draftkings Sportsbook app for sponsoring us. Have a great Monday. Thank you for supporting The Joint. Thank you for supporting Patreon. And we'll see you Wednesday. Tip top motherfucking Magoo. Stay black. Have a great Monday.